All right, finally we're live. We had about 2 hours ready to get prepared for this. So my apologies. I kind of wanted to go stream a little bit earlier. My orientation went very quickly today, so early. I was hoping to try to do this around 4, but unfortunately, a lot of things were involved in making this happen. So here we are, and to the left of me here, wait, I gotta do it this way. So to the left of me here, I have the wonderful Jesse. And to the right of me, I have the wonderful Cheshire. Look at this. So they're going to be joining us tonight. If anybody else wants to join, they can let me know. But it is on Skype. We're not having meets. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is a little bit about the Todd Chrisley lawsuit with Katie Joy Paulson, and kind of a little bit how it juxtaposed with my lawsuit about and my blog and my fundraiser that kind of hopefully will help fund my lawsuit against her. Now, to make it clear from the onset here, I have spoken with my attorneys directly, and I say attorneys, it is plural because it is a firm, and they have 2 attorneys in that firm working on this case. And they have given me guidance. I plan to follow that guidance to a T. So I want to make sure that you guys have the right reasons to be here, which is, again, not to be disparaging, not to talking negatively about Katie Joy, but talking about the facts and talking about the lawsuit in a way that will explain to you guys why I have a strong case and why I want to sue her, or I am suing her for defamation per se. I want to start with the Todd Chrisley case.
Are we allowed to be disparaging to each other?
Well, I would expect no less.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
When have you ever nice to me?
I just wanted to make sure.
You can be disparaging. I'll block you.
Okay, cool.
No, so I was watching and I know we're really small on screen here, by the way, but it's not. You guys know what we look like, so it doesn't really matter. But we'll be putting stuff above us here in a few of my blog. But I kind of wanted to start off talking about Emily DeBaker's stream with Todd Chrisley's lawsuit. I have read it. I read it today. I think Jess has read it. Chesh, you haven't had a chance yet, but you're kind of familiar, I think, with it, aren't you?
I'm familiar with what's going on, but I haven't read the complaint yet. I'm going to be doing a live reading through it on Sunday for my Keeping Up with Katie Joy series.
Okay, well, yeah. By the way, that playlist is in the video description, so make sure you update that. So, like I said, I was watching Emily Baker, and again, I really think she does good commentary. Nothing against her at all. Everything she's talked about legally, I'm not an attorney, not a law person. I know very little about the law, just enough to, well, I guess, have lawsuits against people. But every time she's done analysis, it seemed to be pretty correct. She hasn't done anything on the Law and Sequitur show. I don't know if she plans to or ever will. Probably not, because it's in the past. But when my lawsuit goes to court, then she says she will cover that, and that's great. I haven't released publicly my lawsuit, nor the counter-complaint, or my counter-complaint to the counter-complaint for strategic reasons. I do want them public, very much so. And I'm quite know that if I sent them to Emily D. Baker, she would probably go over them, because it is an ongoing lawsuit with without a crystal ball. But there's a strategic reason why we're not, and it's not. I'm not looking for the court of public opinion per se. What I'm looking for is justice through the legal system. I have been wronged. I have been unfairly accused of things that never happened, and I want the legal system to work what it's supposed to do to compensate for that to me, not just monetarily, but reputationally as well. There have been a few people that have read my complaint. If they're out there, by all means, let people know what you think of it, good, bad, or indifferent. Just don't release it. I don't want to make public yet, although it's nothing big deal if it is. But I do want it all eventually public. But I want it public when we file in court. So anyway, so going back to the Todd Chrisley lawsuit, and by the way, I'm trying to catch up with the live chat here, so if I'm not ignoring anybody here. But I'm trying to relate some of the things I noticed in the Todd Chrisley lawsuit with mine. The Todd Chrisley lawsuit is primarily based upon, from my understand, that he is suing Katie Joy for basically false statements that she maliciously made, knowing they were false, in regards specifically to his daughter and some kind of sex tape. I'm mortified to think that as a father that he has to deal with that. I think it's something that just would be very difficult. Not that I would support my daughter, honestly, if she decided to make something like that. I would never, obviously, clearly watch it. disgusting. But I would support what she decides to do because I think that women have the right to do what they want. But the lawsuit is that he was trying to use some kind of sex tape against his daughter, basically as a form of extortion. She, as I understand, made many comments about this on Twitter and on Instagram and on YouTube. And
she being Katie Joy, or she
Katie Joy.
being
Yes,
his daughter?
not her daughter.
Okay.
Yes, yep. Let me clarify that. Not his daughter, but
Yep.
Katie Joy. And they have, I guess, Katie Joy and her daughter have spoken, but none of that was actually part of what they've spoken about, from my understanding. So the lawsuit basically is saying, "Hey, Katie Joy, you have alleged these things. You have alleged, that I've said these things and I've extorted this and I'm extorting you. Where's the evidence for this? Produce the evidence, or I'm going to sue you." She couldn't produce the evidence, or she refuses to produce it. She's saying basically, I'm not going to out a source, because supposedly she has not just Lindsay as a source, but she has somebody in the show as a source as well. Personally, I highly doubt that person. My personal opinion, and I don't think that Todd Chrisley believes that there's a source either, and that she basically fabricated that entire story. And so he is suing her to say, look, where's your evidence that you got this from anybody in the show or Lindsay, and produce it, or it is defamational. That's how I'm reading it. Is that how you read it, Jesse?
Correct.
You can expand about that if you want.
No, but that's how I read it for sure.
Yeah, and the lawsuit is pretty wordy. It kind of goes over the same things multiple times, and it is basically focusing upon those torts. Now, Katie's defense on that is basically saying, hey, look, you're under some kind of bond, and therefore you suing me is a violation of that, and as a form of harassment. Emily Baker, as I watched her, from what I understand, did not agree with that, and she's a lawyer. I do not agree with that. I'm not a lawyer. I do not think that in any capacity whatsoever is the FBI involved in a case of a civil litigation. If you are defamed by somebody, if you have a tort by someone, you're allowed to seek recompense from that. You're allowed to seek litigation from that, and that is not harassment. It is basically, hey, you have made these claims. If you don't want to produce the evidence, that's fine. But if you don't, I'm suing you for defamation. That's perfectly legal. You guys see any issue legal? I mean, I know none of us are lawyers, and I'm not ever trying to give anybody any kind of legal stuff. But as a layperson, it would make no sense to me to say you can't sue somebody for making false claims against you, especially if they're malicious in nature. And as a public figure, you have to produce, you have to prove malice. But if she has nobody that told her these things, it is defamation. If she does, then she might have an out, right? Might have a valid defense. But she has to produce those things in court as a valid defense, which she should give her to her lawyer during discovery, right? So she has to provide those things, or else she's going to be found liable for defamation.
If I was KJ and I had that information, I would have already given it to my lawyer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, and I completely agree with you on that. And I probably, I don't think for a second that she probably wouldn't give up that information if she had it, if she felt that it was going to affect her financially or in any way.
There's
as a source.
It's inconsistent. I'll put it that way. If she actually covers for this person and is just no, I'm not putting this out because it would be releasing information and they don't want it released, it would be inconsistent with what we've seen from her in the past. On the other hand, though, I watched the video that she's taken down. I covered it over on my channel, so if anybody who hasn't seen it, it is currently I covered it over on Sunday. She makes a couple of claims about, she kind of expands upon and alleges or accuses or speculates, depending on how you want to phrase it, that the motivation behind Todd Chrisley's lawsuit against her. And she's saying that, oh, he's only suing me because he wants to go after his daughter when he's got all this other pending litigation. And it's one of those things that doesn't really make sense to me, because the argument, she's like, he's going to go to jail. And it's just like, I don't think there's one of the things I brought up on Sunday, I don't think there's anything stopping anybody from suing somebody else from jail.
Right. Yeah, it's not a reason to say, oh, look, he's going to go to jail, therefore it's going to be thrown out, kind of thing. No, if you have a tort, and if she has lied about this, if she has made those claims that he has extorted his daughter or extorted her without evidence, those would be something that would be considered defamation per se. There's clearly malice there because she made it up, allegedly, made it up. But again, if she had reasons to, if she said, look, I can produce Leslie told me these things, I can produce those messages, then it wouldn't be malicious, and therefore it would be very difficult, even more so difficult to prove defamation per se, because in order to prove defamation per se for a public figure, which both Todd Chrisley and Without a Crystal Ball are, it requires malice. For a general person like myself, who's not a public figure, malice is not required. I don't have to meet that bar for malice. Can I? Yes, but do I have to? No. I can meet my burden towards her. She can't meet her burden towards me for anything, but we'll get into that. So I think that he's basically saying, look, you have made these false statements. I know for a fact you have no evidence to produce these things. Now, I don't know whether they exist or not. I have absolutely no way, either from his daughter or from the person that works on the show. No possible way. But I tend to believe that they probably don't exist. So, in saying that, if she did have that information, she would give it to her lawyer. Now, her lawyer would basically say, "Look, here's discovery. Here's what you're looking for." But of course, she's saying probably to her lawyer, "I don't want to turn that over." If she does actually have them or not, she's probably saying she doesn't want to turn them over. But if she does have them, she's making probably a very bad mistake, because she'll be found liable for defamation. If she doesn't have them, she's going to be found liable for defamation. So it probably is in her best interest to give that information to her lawyer if she has it. Think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe what she's saying is actually true, especially all the things that she is saying about him, saying that she's in contact with officials and they're telling her specifically that he is going to prison for 30 years, which that is defamation,
Yeah. By the way, did I say Leslie? I meant Lindsay. I know who she is, but did I say Leslie?
Yeah, Lindsay.
Yeah, I know it's Lindsay. But I did. Somebody said it's Lindsay, not Leslie. Did I actually say Leslie? I didn't.
You may have slipped, but I know you know
no,
that.
I do know
though.
it's Lindsay.
I wasn't paying attention.
Gee, thanks. No one pays attention to me. It's okay. So, yeah. So I mean, that's his lawsuit in a nutshell. So he's kind of relying on the basis that she doesn't have the evidence she's claiming. Now, let me kind of do a juxtaposition right over to people will make. I'm sorry, we're small. Okay, I don't know how to fix this. It was weird. Okay, we're little Lilliputians. We should talk like this because this is our. We're going to be small on screens. We talk with a little high voice.
Bigger than everybody else.
Yeah. So I want to kind of do a juxtaposition real quick from Todd's case to my case because they're similar in one way at least. They're very different, but they are kind of similar in one way. And the one way that they're similar is that I'm not only, I can not only believe, I know, I'm absolutely 100% convinced she has no evidence for her allegations because these events never happened. So I'm not even worried ever of her producing evidence for her allegations. And in my suit for Katie Joy Paulson, I can produce evidence that has not been made public, evidence that her lawyer will see via discovery, which is coming up next. We are now how to go discovery, which does take time, but he'll see the evidence and he'll realize that I have the exculpatory evidence. She doesn't have the evidence for the Now, under my lawyer's direction, they said I can discuss a little bit about the case. What I cannot discuss is really the in-depth legal strategy and the allegations, specifically as far as like my evidence and what her evidence and things of that nature, which I get, right? I'm not going to play my hands in the public arena, not like I did with the non sequitur show, because that was a completely different situation. We do have a super chat. Everybody birds Everybody burps. KJ information you have not heard. For her first GoFundMe is on Twitter. He is a newborn. Heck, even Ellie B chimed in. You're welcome. Thank you, Ellie.
Yes,
burps.
yes, I know about this.
Information you have not heard. Her first GoFundMe on Twitter. Wait,
there were So apparently there were things that went on years ago. We're not going to get into, but it something on Facebook. I think you already know about that.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of all those things. Matter of fact, that's one of her allegations that me questioning fundraisers she thinks is defamational. Don't know how. Hundreds and hundreds of people have questioned those fundraisers. I was not the first to do it. They brought it to my attention. They provided me a lot of evidence, and I was doing a blog, or not blog, I was doing a stream on that. And I don't know why my belief that certain things were hanky is defamational. Those are just my opinions. I don't get it. Matter of fact, if we're talking about fraudulent fundraisers, allegations, look at Union Rock. How many times did look at their fraudulent fundraisers? Really? There was only one fraudulent fundraiser, and that was
Ilya.
And the community
This is how uninvolved
away, right?
Steve is. He got the name wrong.
They suck at me. But she returned all the money, and everybody kind of just said, "Look, you cannot be around. You done something wrong. You lied to the community. We cannot have that." And I have not heard from her ever since, nor do I have any wish to do so. And I never really supported her fundraiser that much. I donated to her fundraiser, and guess what? I got a refund. Why? Because it was a fraudulent fundraiser. But he makes all the other allegations for the other ones, which were not. Res Instance for 100 Australian. Sup? Thank you, Res Instance. 100.
Res,
I love Res. I wish he would talk more. I mean, he gives us super chats, and he's like, give us a long message or something. But
he hangs out in my Discord all the time.
I know. In fact, we were in your Discord earlier, like yesterday, and Res was just by himself in there. We're like, should we invite him in? Bad for him. But he was just
we were having an other conversation, and somebody that was in the conversation noticed that Rez was sitting in the Discord without anybody joining.
I was like, sure, we should invite him. Go ahead.
Join him yet.
I don't want to.
He just hangs out, and if people are around, go join him. And if people aren't around, then people aren't around. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah, thank you, Res Instance. Thank you. Okay, so again, yeah. So one of the things she is one of the allegations, and again, not to go too deep in it, is that I somehow defamed her by accusing her of fraudulent fundraisers. No idea how.
Well, that's something that I noticed when I was watching your Instagram live when she described the Todd Chrisley lawsuit, and also something I noticed when she described on Twitter when she had described her lawsuit with you is that she seems to not quite understand or gets information about what she's actually being sued for correct.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's like a misunderstanding on her part or whether I don't know. I don't know why that's the case. I'm not gonna guess her motives if there are any.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, she did say one of her motives was, she countersued for quote leverage. It wasn't because she thought her countersuit was of any validity or merit.
That's fine. I mean, like she's saying she's getting sued for is not quite correct if you read the paperwork.
Rez says forever alone. Call me later, Rez.
Call me later.
Call her later. Yeah, there you go. Call her later. Yeah.
Right?
She can cheer you up.
Is he the Australian guy?
Yes, he's the Australian guy. Yes. He likes you, Rez.
He's that guy.
He's that guy. Yes.
We talked about this the other night. We talked about hit me up.
Look at her. She's all blushing. She's like, oh, hi, Rez.
And she's gone.
She's gone. My gosh. Well, see, one Australian guy comes along and they all leave you. Misty, $2.
She just got Thanos snapped out of existence.
Yeah, she blinked out of existence. She thinks of an Australian guy and poof, gone. Hi, Misty. Okay, so that was one of her allegations. The other allegations.
Thank you, Misty.
What's that?
Thank you, Misty.
Thank you, Misty. So the other allegations, the other one was that I had released confidential exhibits and put them on my
the NDA.
Of the TRO. Yeah, okay. So backtrack a few minutes for a few seconds here. She had filed a TRO against me, which I fought. It was mutually dismissed, pending that she was going to sue for defamation. I was going to countersue her for defamation, right? Because it is easier to countersue. But she never followed through on that. Although my lawyer was telling me, asking me, and this was my TRO lawyer was like, hey, have you filed in court yet? He's been following up on that, even though TRO's well over. He still keeps in touch with me, and he's like, have you sued it yet? YouTube Surgeon General, $1.99. What does that say? Coming soon? Oh,
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Thank you.
Coming soon to a courthouse near you.
And so,
Steve's life needs to get turned into a fucking Netflix documentary.
One of these days. Oh, I already know somebody who's writing a book on all this. Like literally, I'm not even kidding. Yeah, they even told me if something happens to them, contact their husband and get us all on a drive, and I could have it all. I'm not,
oh my god!
I in his case, they don't want it out there, but put it out there. They're fine. They might be listening. But I love the person who. But the allegations are that I had put out those confidential exhibits. Of course, in my blog 3, this is, and again, most of what you're going to hear here is already put out information. This is all public information that's been out there. So I'm not putting on anything that new. And so there's nothing for me to be really concerned about as far as any kind of pending litigation, because this is all public stuff, public record. $1.99 again from YouTube Surgeon General.
It says unboxing, and it's just like, what is it? It's another lawsuit. Yeah.
Well, what is that? Oh, unboxing. Oh no, YouTube Surgeon General has sent me a care package. So I referred to, yes. Well, I sent Red here. I'm gonna call her Reds from now on. She's just like another Reds. I sent Jessie here a care package too. She opened it up, fell on the floor, fainted, and said it was something from Seven. I don't get it. Yeah.
Steve, you should take the GoFundMe link that you have and make it a pinned thing in live chat, so it's
make it a pinned thing.
I am horrible at these things.
You are real bad at this.
I really am. Look, I am not a high-end YouTuber for that very reason. I mean, look at all these people that started at the same time we did, with the Non Sequitur Show. Everybody that has been on the Non Sequitur Show has a pretty big channel by now. Most of them have 100,000 subs or more. So I mean,
listen, Steve. Clearly, the reason your channel is not grown as fast or as successful, it's clearly the graphics.
It's the graphics. There you go. For instance, 100 Australian more. Documentary name idea. Quote, The McCrazy Life of Me. Stealing.
That's good.
Wait, does he get the rights to that? Seriously, I don't know how this works. I need to ask a copyright. I'm not going to steal it, but I'm just saying, if somebody gives you a suggestion, do they give up the copyrights to that? Because I got to be honest. Somebody gave us the name for Judgment Call. I had Snap Judgment, and then they came up with Judgment Call. I was like, that's brilliant. I'm taking that, and they were cool with it. So
okay, so it kind of depends on what you're doing. So do we really want to get into copyright law, or should we hold on to that?
No, I'm just curious.
Go pocket that. So it really depends. Short answer is it depends. Long answer is that you can't have, if you're like a gaming company, for example, and people make skins or different versions or different things of the things in your game and you use them, you can be sued.
Really?
You can be sued, yes, as the creator of the game, because you're taking something that you didn't create, even though it's based off of your stuff. So, like, let's say League of Legends, for example. Let's say you got a champion in League of Legends, and somebody redesigns the character, or somebody makes an outfit for the character. Say I did a picture of a Christmas Orin. If they were to take that and then just implement it in the game without my consent, I could go after them because it's my unique take on their IP.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't.
That makes sense.
That. So now I would need a lot of money to do that, and it's not something that really.
But yeah.
Most people who do fan art don't actually they're doing it because they want to see what something like that looks like, not because they're going to try to sue the company. But that's why there's terms of service legalities. Like if you go watch the video I did with Reverend for Critical Role, that might give you a little bit more of a hint of what you can and kind of cannot do.
Okay. Hey, by the way, Reds, just make sure you save a little bit of your funding so you can fly Jessie down to Australia and turn her into an Australian. Mary, you guys have little joeys? Is that what you call them? Little joeys? Little kangaroo?
That is
all I ask is I get to come to the wedding. That's all I ask. Kawasa 10,001. We think that I think we should contact Donald P. Belisario. I love his show. And urge him to make a new spin-off series, Law and Order McRae. Can you do the dun, dun how do you do the Law and Order?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. We might add that actually. We might add that to a segment or something.
That's no. We just gotta. Somebody just needs to record the two of them doing it and put it on a soundboard.
There you go. Yep.
That's my submission. You guys all did your songs. My song is this. Dun, 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 dun. So Ed says, I hereby give you permission.
I kind of hope that Steve does a parody once the litigation is like wrapped up, or you're like at least
I'll
a little bit more.
Something. Like I said, the only song I really sing is Devil Went Down to Georgia.
I would like to see a parody song.
I will take it under consideration. Rez Instance, I hereby give you permission to use my idea. Thank you, Rez. May not, may. Who knows? We'll see. Rez is playing now. Residence is playing the woe is me. Gee, Jesse deserves so much better than dealing with my boring ass. Oh, listen to you. Shut up. He's like,
that was not an Australian accent.
I'm not even attempting an Australian accent. All right, so let's kind of get back on the topic here. So,
yes.
Again, I put in my blog 3 that my lawyer gave me permission to. I asked my lawyer, can I do this? He's like, yes, you got it, the information through the court system, legally through the court process. It's only privated through the court. And he said it wasn't done. Well, my other lawyers said it wasn't done correctly. I don't know the legalities of it, but I do know that I had permission to release that. I asked my permission. So there's no malice there. So even if legal issue I'm unaware of, there would be no malicious intent there, so no defamation. But I did ask my lawyer. It is my blog 3 that's already been out there. One Warped Angel, 1999, my first contribution towards the lawsuit. Thank you. And I really appreciate these super chats. If you guys want to do the fundraiser, they take far less out. So, but either or, I appreciate every dollar. But you could do, $10 or $20 here, and then $10 or $20 on the fundraiser, and I would be more than appreciated, rather than like $150 still. I'm just trying to conserve, but every dime is going to go to this fundraiser. I assure you that. So, or to the lawsuit, and the other thing was that she alleged was that I had fraudulently created screenshots back in December of 2019. Now, I'm not going to get into what the screenshots are. We all know what those were about, out of respect for somebody who I care about very much, who the mother of the whole situation, who I still am great friends with. I am not going to discuss them, but I will tell you, without any reservation of any kind, absolutely no. There was no way in hell I have ever done anything with any screenshots. I have not made anything. I have not faked anything. I have not done anything fraudulent of any kind. And I have the history of those screenshots. What I don't have is the person who I believe, in my personal opinion, talking to. But I do have the history behind those screenshots in great depth. But I've never released that information. I have been told by the person who gave me the screenshots that I could make them public. I decided not to. They kind of revoked that because I think they wanted to put on the story on their channel, which is fine. They didn't, so they have never been released. But she is well aware that it is a legal proceeding, that I have to give them to the attorneys, and I have to show that I did not fraudulently create anything. There's a history behind these screenshots. So there is no defamation there whatsoever, because that is a straight up false allegation. I have never created a screenshot. I've never created a fake email. I've never created anything that of any kind. I've never done any of the falsities. Everything I have is direct evidence that I've gotten from a source, or I've gotten a screenshot of, or directly from an individual. Now, the thing on the screenshots is that is, to me, another defamatory statement, that I have fraudulently created fake screenshots. That, to me, is defamatory in itself. So I'm not sure how we're going to add that into the lawsuit. What was the other thing? What was the other? Was there anything? You guys have read the complaint. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the sexual harassment. she has mentioned that sexual harassment in the lawsuit. Now, I can't sue per se on that because it was past the statutory limitations. I think, from my understanding, it's 2 years in Minnesota. I know there's some toilage because of COVID and some toilage because of the pocket service, and I don't know the law on that. But I do know that I was going to sue her for that initially. That was my initial lawsuit, was going to be false allegations of sexual harassment. Why? Because it never happened. And I have evidence to prove that it never happened. Again, evidence that I've never released, that she's unaware of, that some people do know of, and I have given it to certain YouTubers, but that will come out again in discovery. But it does exonerate me because I can show, I can't 100%, of course, but I can definitely like 95% show beyond any reasonable doubt that never happened. And so I plan to do that in court. Was there anything else in her allegations you guys could think of? I kind of want to touch on, again, I don't want to get into the evidence I have because that would be foolish. I want
the
AWA stuff. Leader.
Oh yeah. So, well, that's what I'm suing her for. Yeah. Those are her countersuits. I kind of want to talk about her counter only because the reason why this lawsuit is going to be so expensive is because she's done this countersuit. Why, I don't know. Because there's nothing to sue for. I don't believe she has a single thing in there that has any merit whatsoever. I know she can't prove any of it, but it has no merit.
Can I speculate and say that to run you out of out of time and money?
Right. No, I completely agree with that. I know that for a fact. I have no doubt in my life. And that's not going to happen. I'm not giving up on this lawsuit. Absolutely not. I've invested every dime I have and ever will have into getting justice for this.
I mean, it's a legitimate strategy that people will use in court to just run the other person out of money. I mean, Kyle may be an example of that. Yep. Just trying to run somebody out of money so that way the lawsuit just goes away. Right.
I think that's going to happen too long because we're going straight to discovery right now. We are doing discovery and then we're going to do a deposition.
I'm not saying it's always successful, right. Or I'm also not saying it's always a good idea. I'm just saying that it is a strategy that does exist.
Yep. Well aware of that. Yeah.
I believe with the Westbrook lawsuit, that's exactly what she was doing. She was, Mr. Brown there was, correcting every little thing, and it was not even necessary.
Oh, that's like 70 filings before that even had jurisdiction. I've asked a couple of different attorneys, a handful of attorneys, have they seen anything like that?
Yep.
And no, it was bizarre. And I didn't really follow the Toddy case that much. I don't know anything about Halo Beauty. I said I don't even know what the hell it is. I'm not a follower of Toddy. She seems like a nice person, but I know nothing about her. I'm not in the beauty community, so why would I? So I really didn't have much interest in that lawsuit. I just thought it was, she's being sued for $5 million. But I understood that a lot of it was Toddy was trying to sue her former business partner, which was Swanson, and Katie had information in that case, and that's what she kind of wanted. So I understand what it was about, but I didn't follow it that much because there was just 71 freaking filings. Who has interest in that? I don't. Personally, I just didn't. But when it comes to
imagining having over 70 filings in your lawsuit, Steve.
Well, yeah, but that was over a period of 2 years. Hers was before jurisdiction. Before jurisdiction. Now I already gave up any. I didn't want jurisdiction here or anywhere else. I was like, look, we can have jurisdiction in Minnesota. If I have to fly to Minnesota for depositions, if we don't do them online, I'm okay with that. If I have to fly to Minnesota for a jury trial, I'm okay with that. Not a problem. But of course, this is what the fundraiser will help out with that too. But as Jesse pointed out, one of the big things in my lawsuit is that she, during the TRO, had said that the judge had put the suit under the Violence Against Women's Act. And this is, again, in my blog. I believe my second or third blog. Yeah, I think it's both, actually. But I had pointed out in my blogs, again, this is already information already out there. So my lawyers are going to freak out because it's out there. That she couldn't have put it under the Violence Against Women. One, it expired in 2018. It was funded for a little while. And it was refunded up to 2019. It doesn't exist any longer. Therefore, it could not have been put under sua sponte by the judge, as she had claimed, under the Violence Against Women's Act. That is defamation because it is a false story trying to make me out to be some kind of abuser. Because that never happened.
I can't remember if I did it live or if I talked about this live or if I was just in like a hangout in Discord, because this is why people should become a member, because I get into shenanigans in the Discord that sometimes never make it out to stream. And I can't remember, but I feel like it was probably one of my Keeping Up with Katie Joy videos where she linked what she was talking about with in regards to this lawsuit. She was talking about it on Twitter, and what she linked to, when you clicked on the link and you followed it and read what she had actually linked to, it describes exactly how it wouldn't apply.
Don't you love that? It's like, wait, no, this would not apply. That's the funniest thing too, right?
I was very confused.
Because for anybody who's looked into the Violence Against Women's Act, you have to be a domestic partner of some kind. You have to have had some kind of romantic relationship with them of some sorts, or be in some kind of relationship. I've never met this woman.
I'm pretty sure when I read it had to be either you were in some kind of romantic relationship, a marriage kind of relationship, or some kind of like you're living together,
right,
or like your family members.
Right.
It wouldn't apply to. So like a dad and a mom and a younger, like their kid.
You remember though,
who's a girl.
She did put in her TRO, and unfortunately in Minnesota, you can claim anything you want on a TRO. You can. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. You can make stuff up. From what I understand,
aliens came down from
exactly.
above.
What I was told is that you cannot be sued for what's in the TRO. What you can be sued for is stuff you say external to the TRO. So if you put something in the TRO and you also say it on YouTube or Twitter, that you can, and that's what happened here. And so,
right.
Steve, may I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, please.
I know who, but I'm not going to say who. But you have an anonymous donor, $500.
Ooh.
Oh, and be blessed.
Obviously,
be blessed, my child.
I promise.
I know who, and they're awesome.
I promise
they support
this.
My channel as well.
I promise this. In my blog, if you guys read the Fundraiser, which is actually my blog as well, I will go through and I will thank every single donor individually. I didn't know you could actually do that last time. When I had a fundraiser, I was unaware of this, and my mea culpa from that. I did thank people, of course, on blogs and directly, and I thought thank them on streams, but I didn't know you could through the fundraiser. I now know this, so I will be thanking each one individually. So
I'll probably
be and thank them
reading
very, very, very strongly. Thank them for that.
I'll probably because I've read all the other blogs surrounding this that you've written, like the Me Too one, and
you read my stuff.
I do. So I'll probably end up doing a read of the blog. Please. So if anybody's like too busy or doesn't have time to actually read through the blog, pop over to my channel.
I am going to say this though, Manya, I adore you so much. Trust me how much I adore you. I'm cutting you off at like $20. So I'm dead serious. I do not want Manya to.
You must listen to Tiny Steve. He's very threatening.
So small. I was like, you got to make us bigger. I'm like, I don't even know how, but she's like, but we're so little.
I said you need to
donor 100.
I am already. I am way too big. I need to be smaller, but I'm not doing anything about it.
Rez says for which I think is like 15 cents American. I don't know the conversion rate. It's quite a bit. Thank you. He says, quote, does not apply. Katie Joy Paulson in a nutshell. By the way, this is a poor payday for me. More to come in 7 days. Man, I don't know what I don't honestly. I don't know much about Rez except that he's a gamer. We play games together, and I do want to start. I haven't had time to play games. I really much apologize. I miss playing games with my friends. I know Jesse wants to play some. So that. We have to play Portal 2. Yes. But yeah, Portal 2 is fun.
Yes, I know. I want it so bad. I wish I could, but I don't have. Yeah. So we have 630 raised so far.
Kawasa 51. Wait, this is a fundraiser stream. Fancy that. Well, it is. It wasn't really intended to be honest with you. I wanted to talk about Todd Chrisley's case, but I was like, I've already written my blog. I let people know I wrote my blog this weekend, and I was going to release it this week. People knew that I started a new job in LA. I was told I can see the Hollywood sign for my work. I can't. Maybe I just wasn't looking in the right place. But I was going. I mean, I can see the.
Steve lives in California and doesn't know where the Hollywood sign is.
No, I've been by the Hollywood sign. I was told that I could see it, from where I work, and I'm like, There behind the mountain kind of thing. Well, William Peterson, $5. If without a clue crumbles, can you make a public video apology and admission mandatory for any settlement? We're gonna get into that, William. So let me just backtrack a few seconds here to the VAWA. So what Chester was pointing out was that in order to be filed, especially sua sponte, which means by the judge, not for any other reason, right? But the judge said, you know what, I'm just going to do this because there's, quote, so much evidence, or I think the words were...
just, guys, there's so much.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact wording was, but the wording she was because of a lot of evidence, the judge said, oh, I'm going to put this under VAWA. That never happened. And, of course, it was impossible to happen. It is not possible to have happened because not only is the VAWA not in effect, but is only for domestic partnerships. This is why I'm suing her. I know she has no evidence for that because it couldn't have happened. And yeah. She made it very, she was, making it out to be there's so much evidence it's under VAWA and, Steve harassed me. There was never any harassment. I have never harassed that woman in my entire life. I made videos.
There was nothing
that she was making allegations.
So I read through the paperwork.
As I did as well. And we saw the transcripts and all of that. And there's nothing really, there.
When I read through the information around the TRO situation, there was nothing additive from the judge. No. Everything was just the automatic process. No, there was nothing additive to that whatsoever. So I don't know how you would make a claim that a judge added something when there's nothing there. It didn't even go to court. so there's no
and I showed the
here.
evidence.
There's no way a judge could even put something in there like that because the evidence never went that far.
And I want to ask the audience who've been around a long while, you guys have seen the evidence because I had it on my Twitter and Aaron from EKC People Suck did an analysis of it.
I was there for that.
It was just nothing. It was a bunch of nothing. I mean, if you're going to have a domestic violence case, if you're going to have a case where you're saying, hey, this person is doing all these things, you need evidence for it. I've never called her. I've never emailed her. I've never texted her. I have never been in the same state with her. I mean, there was actual people that have been beaten up by people, and she filed a TRO against me, which of course I fought. And again, Manya, significantly helped me with that lawsuit. I don't want her having to do much with this one. So thank you, Manya, for that. I do very much in my heart thank you for that. But the VAWA, it people were running with that. I have overwhelming evidence that has affected me, that affected my standing in the community. It has affected me reputationally, affected me emotionally. It has affected me in multiple different ways because there have been people with multiple different tweets and blogs and things of that nature talking about VAWA and myself. So, yes, I can prove that. I can actually prove, and I prove it was with malice too, because she knew very well that the judge, as you had pointed out, never put anything sua sponte under VAWA.
There's nothing. There's no additives to any of this documentation. There's nothing added to it. It is all just the regular proceedings that happen automatically with then a settlement. That's it. So the only additive thing is the NDA.
And did you notice though, in my first my second or third blog, I don't remember. I still think that she filed that TRO because of my first blog. I'm convinced of it. That
blog got a lot of attention. Yeah.
Yes. And by the way, another thing she had pointed out that oh, look at Steve. He's got he did this for clicks and shit. My blog. The most I ever made on my blog was $20 in a month. $21, I think 32 cents. That's the most I've ever made. It is not a significant form of revenue. I generally make about $8 a month on my blog, give or take. Something about ballpark. Some guys be $2. I had one that was I think 18. But mostly it's very very low comparative to.
I went and bought myself a fancy drink at Starbucks.
Yeah, my blog is for beer money. It is not nothing I can live on. But it's where I have the most effectualized or effectatious writing, where I get it out to the people. A lot of people don't want to watch a video, and I enjoy writing. I like my philosophy stuff. I love writing my arguments. And so that blog is me being able to express myself. And so that's what it means to me and get my story out. It's nothing more than that. So that makes no sense to think that I'm doing it just for. I'm spending a lot of my own money. I've already spent $8,000 of my own money on this lawsuit already. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm not doing this for subs and views, or I'm doing this to get my reputation back because I believe very strongly she did this with malice, not just lied, but did it with malice. This is my personal belief. This is why I'm suing her. And I can prove it. I can prove that these are false statements.
Well, are you gonna serve her at the wrong address because you want to sue her?
She's already been served. Her lawyer has taken service.
Yeah, but you do recall that she said that she wasn't at home, so this started trying to go down that road that service wasn't legitimate, and everybody was like,
"Yeah, that's not gonna
work."
Yeah, I remember that. You're right.
She this.
Did. She's like, no, that's not gonna work. Now, one of the reasons I did wait to sue her, was I knew that she was gonna be sued because Todd had mentioned he was going to sue her on Twitter, and I was like, this is like the perfect time. If I'm going to sue her, there's other things that's coming up.
Timing matters.
Two lawsuits coming down on her at the same time. And I do believe Todd has a strong case. If he can show that she lied about that.
If he can show that there is no source, if he can show that there's no source for this, she's got nothing.
Yeah, so she'll spend all this money for discovery and depositions to get nowhere and end up losing anyways. Right?
Yeah, no, if he can show that, and I don't know if he can or what he has. I don't talk to the guy. I have no idea.
I've talked to his lawyers.
He can show that is like if there is like a winning card. And so KJ could turn this lawsuit on its head if she has that card. Like if she's like, no, this is my source, then that a lot of that lawsuit sounds like, again, I haven't read it yet. It sounds like it will topple.
Yeah,
but if he is making a bet, if he's gambling essentially and saying that she has no source and she can't prove she has a source.
Yep.
And she can't.
Yep. It is a kind of a gamble. But I think he has the winning hand. Because I think that he pretty much is in the same situation I am. I know she does not have evidence for her allegations. I know she doesn't have evidence against my allegations towards her. I know this. I know that there was no sexual harassment. I know she made that entire story up from scratch. I know the judge never put it in the VAWA. I know that I never fabricated any screenshots. These are things I know. These are my own personal knowledge. You don't have to know it. He doesn't have to know it. The lawyers don't have to know it. Doesn't matter. I know it to be the case without question because I am the one dealing with that, right? But I also have the evidence to show the jury.
Right.
And
there's the way the burden. Well, the way the burden goes is that like you're the claimant, so here's what you're saying is happening, and now it's on her to show that that's not the case.
But again, she's doing a Kyle. She keeps moving the goalposts. She's like, all she has to do is, I will tell you my.
Yeah, but how well does moving the goalpost work for court?
Right.
We've seen how well that goes.
She doesn't realize that public opinion and court are the very different things. Allegations, delusion, and I have a statement, and it was towards Kyle as well, but I think it came up for Kyle. But delusions are not evidence in court, right? Delusions cannot be submitted as evidence in court. Kyle did not have the evidence to support his allegations, right? And he had to fabricate evidence. He lied under oath. He lied in depositions. Mm-hmm. I knew he didn't have the evidence for it, and I was right on this. Why? Because he had to fabricate the evidence. I was vindicated on that. But I was right? I mean, I literally said he's lying through his teeth. He doesn't have the evidence. It doesn't exist. He's full of crap. I'm telling you
remember the whole conversation. You remember the whole conversation about whether or not
I love those hearts.
Kyle. Oh my God, is that showing up on screen too? Goddamn.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I thought only we could see it. I was just fun. I was pressing it. Cool.
I think so. I'm watching this. Yeah, I was not watching the stream. I was watching the Skype, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it shows up.
I got the outside on. I don't know if it showed.
Yeah.
I lost in the chat. What was I saying? Kyle. Oh, the whole conversation about whether or not Kyle even had a lawyer at the first place.
Yep. And
so
he didn't. Surprise! Shocking. He lied about that.
Oh.
So when it comes to the whole allegations of like the sexual harassment like that, she put that in the countersuit. That's a lot of the stumps of that. I'm somehow retaliating against her for that. No, you lied about it.
That's not what this is the same thing as her
I'm
trying
suing because I believe she not only just lied, but she did so maliciously.
It's the same problem of her making claims that Todd is harassing her by suing her.
Mm-hmm. The same thing.
It's the same kind. It's the same thing. Yeah. So it's Steve is only suing me to harass me, or he's only suing me to get back at me.
I'm spending every dime I've ever made in
the
last 2 years, everything that I've saved up, and that I did save it up to sue her. I'm not doing that for my health. I'm not doing that for clout. I'm not doing that for subs. I'm doing that because I was wronged.
Right, but the thing is like if your motivation is to get back at her,
right?
So what? If you're right and you have the evidence and she was wrong, your motivation at that point doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't think motivation matters either. But this is not retaliatory. This is you done said things that were false, and I'm going to prove it.
Right, exactly. And so you arguably, sure, you could call that retaliatory, as in like she did something what you believe is wrong to you, and so you're taking her through the legal system over it.
Yes.
So if you want to call it retaliatory, sure, yeah, I guess, but it's not it's not fallacious.
Yeah,
which is the problem. Right. And so when she's trying to say that, oh, Todd Chrisley is suing me because he's harassing me because he can't harass his daughter, you're now making claims that he's harassing his daughter and that you're adding to your defamation by assuming or making assumptions or making claims about motivation that you're not privy to.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a malicious person. I'm not vindictive. I know people think that I am with Kyle. There's no vindictiveness there. Do I want blood? Yeah, but not. And by the way, that doesn't mean actual blood, people. That actually means that you want justice, and justice for him is jail time. He has embezzled. He has committed perjury. He has committed forgery. Will they prosecute that? I do not know. But he's already got 2 criminal contempt charges he's facing. He's got a civil thing he's facing. Could he get out of all of it? Hypothetically, yes. He could never spend another day in jail again if he complies with a court order, unfortunately. Do I think that's justice? No. Have I expressed to my lawyer how unsatisfied I am with the court system? Yes. But as my lawyer points out, that's the legal system. And my lawyer is extremely good. He's one of the best lawyers I've ever dealt with in my life. And I respect his legal judgment that there really could have been any other way. So but
there's also like that whole other bit about what's going to happen after the civil stuff is over. So that may or may not.
Yes, this is true.
Go whatever direction it goes in. Amani just sent me a screenshot of a tweet. I just want to read it out. It's from Lindsay Chrisley.
How old is that tweet?
Oh.
From 8:04 p.m. from the screenshot for October 19th. So it's recent.
It's recent.
Nice.
Oh.
Yes.
Please read it to us.
It says, due to an overwhelming number of comments and messages, despite all commentary regarding me and potential involvement in any litigation, I am not suing or being sued by anyone. Any comment otherwise is mistaken.
Who was saying that Lindsay was being sued?
KJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is, I swear to you, guys don't believe, or you guys believe, but I don't watch her stuff. So I don't know. 90% of the stuff she says about these people, I don't follow. I don't do reality TV. So I don't know about those things. But she said that Lizzie was being sued by whom?
Todd.
Why would Todd sue his own daughter? I don't know anything about that. Helios 575, member for 22 months. New hole, thank you. He has already been a member, but he says, hello, everyone. Thank you, Helios. And by the way, Helios. I didn't realize you could individually thank people. And I know you donated a sizable amount last time, and I appreciate it. So if I neglected that, I didn't mean to. I just didn't know you could do it through the mea culpa.
I don't
for like 22 months. He's been a member for 22 months, people. That's a long. Most people don't hang around this channel for more than 3 days. No, I'm just kidding. I get people going back to 2014.
There's
you're amazing.
The thing is like I'm not really sure what Todd is supposed to be suing his daughter over. I'm not really sure about how, because the only place I did hear this from was Katie Joy's Instagram that she took down.
I must have missed that one. I tell you, 95% of what I get that I hear from Katie Joy is from Llama Girl. Straight up.
Yeah, that's a
Straight
good.
up.
That's a good.
Not
Llama
even
Girl
funny.
is a fantastic filter.
If it wasn't for
Katie
her,
Joy.
I would have no idea what she says most of the time. Justin, $10. Tithings for daddy. Repeat, but thank you. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, son. Or daughter, whatever you identify these days.
Thank you, child.
Thank you, child.
There you go.
Okay, so let's see where we're kind of at. So we talked about the EDWA and why some of the other things that I find that she had been less than truthful with, aka lied outright. She had accused me of saying that if she didn't make an apology video towards her, I was threatening her. It was very non-specific of what those threats were. Said I emailed her that. I have never sent that woman an email in my life. And then, she said I was threatening her. Again, I have evidence that disproves that 100%, not just 95, but 100%. I have evidence that disproves that. And I have shown people out there some of that evidence. Now, again, she doesn't know I have that evidence. She doesn't know what that evidence is. Her lawyer will during discovery. And her lawyer probably will be telling her during discovery, this will never go to depositions. Settle. Because the reason why we sue for $50,000 in court and Todd doing $50,000 is because $50,000 is what we wanted to kind of get for damages, but punitive damages could be much more. And in Minnesota, they're not fans of gossip columnists. The punitive damages can be exceptionally more than that. And I will tell you one of the settlement agreement that I was willing to do. I mean, you try to settle, you try to mediate. Everybody does. Even Todd has to try to settle. The lawyers do, especially
that's
by
part
law.
of the process.
Right.
That's part of the process.
And one of the things was non-negotiable is that she had to admit that she lied about these things. Straight up, that was non-negotiable. Also, that I will not sign an NDA, and everything has to be made private. These are non-negotiable things. Matter of fact, before I even hired my lawyers, I even said these are non-negotiable as far as if I hire you, no problem, because I want everything out in public. Why else would I be doing this? I want people to know.
Given what happened last time, which has led to this lawsuit.
Correct.
Mania wants to specify that the credit goes to Misty Mo on Twitter for grabbing.
She's amazing.
Grabbing that.
And so where was I at on that? Where was I at on that? Refresh my memory. Pocket brains.
About what? Sorry.
Oh man, I had an old man.
Where were you?
Train. So far as
are you talking about the VAWA, Todd Chrisley, and his lawsuit, and whether
we moved on towards which was like oh yeah. Okay. So I have evidence that I never threatened her to make that video. Never once.
Oh, the threat. Yeah. Oh yeah. About the apology video.
Right. Now I will ask the audience. Some of you I have sent the evidence to get your guys' opinion on that. If you have read that evidence, let me know. Is that evidence, in your opinion, 100%? Or you know what? We'll say 95%. Nothing's ever 100%. But let's be realistic. But,
everything is 95%.
Yeah, everything's 95% because that's the whole non-sequitur
thing. That's the meme.
Is it 95% or greater? Do you think that I have exculpatory evidence that shows I never threatened her?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're.
Jesse, you're good. Jesse, you've seen it.
As somebody who's not a lawyer,
Jesse's like, I don't read.
Yeah, absolutely, and not to go into details because that's what spoilers.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Don't tell anybody what the evidence is of it. But
no, obviously not. But it's like, yeah, I guess I would say she misconstrued something, but I think that's only because of in her mind she wants things to be bad.
Yeah, well, that's kind of
sounds like you're giving. It sounds like you're giving her a lot of credit. Yeah, a lot of charity.
I know what you're referring to as misconstruing, but that was actually, if you read the evidence, it's actually later on that comes up. But
like the time.
But I do know what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So that is another thing that she had accused me of, and then one of the other things was that, again, I think, did I put this on my blog or not? This might be new, but she has accused me of having some relationship to Natalie, that I have used her, or that I somehow what was it? She said that I sent threats to her, that I sent threats to Natalie or something like that. I've never said anything to Natalie. I don't know this person. I've never heard of this person to the Toddy case. I've never spoken with them, never sent them an email.
That's nothing. Don't know this person.
I still really have very little to no understanding of who this person actually is, where they came from, or what they're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, but so they were definitely like stalking Katie since like for way over a year, like a year before,
or like a fan,
watching, probably obsessing over, I would say.
Okay. Gotcha.
But there is evidence that I think it was like July was the most recent thing, like, of evidence that she was talking to someone in the anti-community. You know what I mean? So it was kind of just like that. But then in January, kind of came out of nowhere that she involved herself in the Westbrook lawsuit, and then she said like she had disabilities.
Yeah, it's like DID or something, right? But
right.
We've
definitely never seen an obsessed, crazy person throw themselves full force into a lawsuit they're not a party of.
What? No, we've never seen that, Cheshire. That has never happened.
Nope.
Wait, it's never happened more than like 20 times. Yeah, as Rose points out, yes, that was on the 718K Baxter shit show. Which, by the way, if you guys remember, did I not throw a I like my teasers, and by the way, you can thank Misty Mo for that. Because I did a poll on my Twitter, which, by the way, I am drawing back from Twitter. I just don't have time to get in these discussions with you on Twitter, the trolls and stuff like that. I'm just going to be using it for promotional stuff and whatever.
Use it for updates and letting people know that a thing is happening. That like you've got way too much going on to be getting into atheism arguments.
But I do enjoy that. The atheism I might still talk about, because that's my that's things that's my release, right? That is.
Oh, okay.
But we'll see. But yes, remember, I do like teasers, and Misty Mo had said that she liked them. My vote was like 54 against, but I was like, I like them too. So Misty, I was like, this is going to do it for Misty Mo. But I had teasers out there saying that stream will come up in litigation. I wasn't guessing with that, and it has been. It will be. It's part of the legal thing.
It has to.
Has to, of course. I mean, Katie Joy said she had verified that it came from my account, that I somehow sent something to Nat and threatened her. And I'm like, first of all, at the time, I had not used Instagram in like 50 some odd weeks. I use it frequently now, mostly to talk to Jesse, to be honest with you. But I don't use it that much. I don't post anything on it. And I didn't use it back then. So I think the person who created that did not know that I did not use Instagram, because they probably should have made something up like Facebook. At least I'm on Facebook all the time, or Twitter. But of course, they also said that hackers had hacked in and deleted those supposed, I guess, threats. Right? I'm like, really? So you verified something, but the hackers came in and they went away. Oh no!
Anonymous is following KJ around.
The messages that they showed, they were showing back and forth conversation, but it wasn't matching up. Actually, if you have a Snapchat, it was definitely like Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook. Like they were using multiple apps. Like I know on Facebook you can change like a nickname. You can have 2 accounts. Like I have 2 Facebook accounts. You can have 2 devices or log back and forth or whatever, have a fake conversation. And all you got to do is just change that person's nickname and have a profile picture.
Yeah. And then you can just screenshot away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
you don't need
I can guarantee you, I've never sent anything to that Nat person at all, ever. And there certainly was never any threats. That was complete bumpkus. And for her to say that she verified that, nope.
We really need to get a filter for Steve's voice so it like pitch shifts it upwards.
I do pitch shift, but
you're so cute.
People say when you get high pitch, you're lying. It's like, no, but it's excitation. I get really excited.
Now I know. Now I know how everybody feels when they talk to me in real life. You're so adorable. Look at how angry you are.
Oh my god! I get the same thing.
My kneecap. Nibble on my
ankle. You're so adorable. I'm like.
RGD Damon says, "Is it me or is I shrinking?" No, I don't know why I don't understand this. I don't know why I'm smaller than them. I have the camera here. I mean, I get closer, I guess.
Oh, how the turntables!
I don't know, man. I let Jesse set this up, so blame her, man.
I like it.
I like it too. We'll work it out, but I didn't want to spend an hour
trying to
No,
figure
I
it out. 'cause
like
I
it
don't care-
like this. I like being bigger than everybody else. This
I
is
don't
great.
care. I'm not Kyle. I'm not a narcissist. You guys can have. Steve was jealous. I want to feel like a little person.
You're the goblin today.
I am okay with it. I wouldn't mind being. So okay, so where we're
That's
at.
because you're not short.
I know I'm 6 foot. I'm almost 6 foot.
You don't even know what you're saying. Shut
I'm
up.
5'11" and a half, give or take. Not tall, but I'm not. Oh, and I will announce this. Sorry, you don't. I know something.
Probably not.
I officially hit 200 pounds today. Dropped.
Hey!
I thought it was 219, but
I
my
was the
scale
only
was
one
off.
that knew.
It was 216 when I started, and so I am 200 now. I've lost 16 full pounds. That was my goal. I think I'm going to try to go down to 195 and see where I'm at. Maybe 190.
Ooh.
But exercise and diet, and I'm officially at 200 pounds. Try not to put it back on, but I'm very proud of myself. And I could thank Cheshire for that kind of, because she was doing the diet with me for a while, and Jim Jules, who motivated me from that, who I still talk to, but she needs to come around more often. So.
Yeah, it'd be great if she came around more often.
Yeah, she's
I've
amazing.
managed to keep up with most of it, but not all of it. So I've been managing to keep up with like the cardio, but I didn't really get very far.
I don't do the cardio.
It's like like any kind of advanced plan.
My doctor
but I have
says I
cut
can do
back on my. I've recently cut back again on like the amount of milk and sugar I have because I'm drinking green. I switched to green tea because I ran out of regular tea.
I drink black tea. Yeah, no,
That's what I'm saying. I ran out of that shit.
My doctor said I can. I could do aerobics, cardio, but I wean myself in there because I've been rather sedentary, but I have been doing anaerobic.
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing.
I like
your band.
Your bands are cool.
But I did.
I want to get one of those bars that you hook up in a doorway for pull-ups. That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be cool. I used to have that in the ship.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah. It was just a beam, but when we were standing watch, we'd use it. All right, so let's see where we're at. So so those are like I said, there's some things that are in the lawsuits. There's more. I just can't really think of it too much, but some of you have read the complaint and the counter. Some have not. It's very few people have, and I can't make it public because of, again, strategy. Wouldn't care if they went public. I would be happy to. I really kind of want to, but my lawyers are like, let's do this way. They know we have a good case. They know we have a good case. So, what do you guys have any questions on this? Helios 57550 says, thank you, by the way, Helios. And I got an error message on the fundraiser earlier, so maybe it's just that. But he says, wanted to do this through GoFundMe, but it keeps erroring when I attempt to donate, so donating here instead. Thank you. And since I get 250 characters to work with, I'm going to simp on Chesh and Jay. Both of you lovely ladies are looking great tonight. Do they? Don't they?
Oh, thank you.
Don't they?
I did end up losing a little bit of weight. I'm hovering around. So I don't. Last time I checked, I don't own a scale, and scale is kind of a bad way to tell fitness anyway. So I don't terribly think I'm very fit, but I have like what's the word? A little bit more cut.
Yeah, you're like defined, right?
Yeah, not my arms.
Oh,
certainly not my arms.
I'm getting abs. People, like I said, we're gonna have a diet stream eventually, and I'm gonna show the before and after. I know 1 or 2 photos were leaked. Whatever. I'm not ashamed of my body. People do that for body shaming, but I am pretty good shape right now. Comparative, especially losing the weight. I've been exercising using crunches for my abdominal muscles, but I'm getting pretty ripped a little bit, and not as much as I used to be. Man, when I used to be really ripped, but. Anyway, sidetracked. So what kind of questions we got on this? And thank you, Helios.
A. Marie said on Twitter. So this is also from today, October 19th. So this is after KJ did her live stream and then took it down, and she's now posting on Twitter again. Someone who was facing 30 years in prison filed a frivolous lawsuit against me. I have the truth. They
Right.
have a trial on May 16th, 2022. This lawsuit, in my opinion, is deflection and a way to place blame on someone other than themselves. My lawyers are handling it.
Yeah, blame for what though? That is a completely separate issue, unrelated to her saying that he is extorting his daughter Lindsay by saying, if you don't do
Right.
this or that, whatever, I'm going to release some sex tape. That's a completely different beast. And has nothing. One does not have to do with the other.
I don't. There seems to be trouble with some people, and this may apply to KJ. It may not. I'm not sure. I'll let other people be the judge of that. But there is this thing that stops. You can compartmentalize things. So, like, horrible person does something horrible. Horrible thing happens to horrible person. Has this horrible person been wronged by this horrible thing? Yes.
Yeah.
Because whatever horrible thing they did does not mean that horrible other thing completely unrelated should be done to them.
Right.
Somebody did something horrible. Should they be doxxed? No, doxing is wrong.
If
horrible thing happened to this person. Should they be attacked? No.
If
No.
you maliciously falsely accuse, for example, like Jesse as a crime, and you killed me, you go to jail, or you being criminal thing for me has nothing to do with your civil litigation, her civil litigation. Well, let's say if you, we word this right. If you kill me and she defames you, you can still sue her while you're criminally being charged with murder.
Yes, I
they're
could
not
also sue
related
her
to each
while I
other.
was in jail. But yes, these are separate things. And so being able to compartmentalize
How about deflection?
and being able to recognize that just because somebody did something to you or did something to somebody else doesn't mean that whatever is happening to you is valid or invalid. That has to be judged on its own merit.
I could not agree with you
Right.
more. Yep, and I think it's deflection because she's telling her audience, who, by the way, I don't think our audience knows 95% of what happens behind what's going on. But she's trying to tell her
Well,
audience,
you
look,
can't
this
possibly-
mean
you
man
can't
is
possibly.
well, is it because of negligence or just they don't care? I don't understand her fan base. I don't get it. I honest to God don't. Nobody.
Not
seems to.
everybody not everybody watches stuff. Some people just watch things for popcorn. So they'll just watch and then just watch it and then turn it off, and then they don't follow it up. They don't go looking for other sources. But they're also not the people that are like hyper engaging
But what about
outside.
the people who being membership to her channel? Which, by the way, feel free to become member to this channel.
Yeah, if
I
they're
would be putting
not-
out content, and or donating to her. She's again. I put out another blog today earlier. I was on self-reflection, and hope people go read it. Those kind of blogs are very difficult for me to write, but the thing I have a hard time is with emotions. Right? It doesn't mean I lack them. Right? I do. I have very strong emotions,
I'm
but
talking about express.
expression of them. Right? And I can see when somebody has been emotionally manipulated. I can see how she has been emotionally manipulating her audience, in my opinion. And so her saying, "Oh, look, this mean man, Todd Chrisley, he's only suing me because he's unhappy with his daughter." That doesn't work that way. People don't do that.
And I am the victim here,
She's
but
the
I'm
victim,
going to protect. I'm going to protect Lindsay from Todd because she's my best friend in the whole world. She's so lovely
but
with
they
her
believe
brown
this.
blue
They
eyes.
literally believe this. Like they thought, oh, Steve's harassing her. This, and yet anybody who's ever known, she has allegation versus allegation toward me. She falsely accused me of committing fraud. She falsely accused me of committing medical fraud. She falsely accused me of wanting to be paid on the table. Falsely accused me of collecting Social Security and disability, which, by the way, are things also in the lawsuit. But long story on that.
To quote KJ, it's clipped in my malicious compliance video for anybody who wants to go see that. I did not falsely accuse Steve. Okay, just shh.
I remember that. Yeah, and then she has an apology video saying, yes, I was wrong about the fraud and the medical fraud. She makes an apology video, takes it down, strikes it later on when I put it on my alt channel, calls it stealing her intellectual property, even though it was an apology video to me, whatever. And yet, I'm the bad guy
And
here.
I call an apology video intellectual property.
Technically,
I mean,
again,
it is,
technically,
but-
it's like, oh my God, you made an apology to me because you falsely accused me, and then you strike me for accepting the apology at the time. Okay, whatever.
The hypocrisy is that she uses other people's content, and we discussed this earlier in the stream, earlier before the stream, that she uses other people's content, and she's been striked for that too,
I find it kind of odd that, so when I was watching the Instagram live, she was saying that, oh, this story was already out in TMZ. Oh, this was already on Dr. Phil. Oh, this was already this. And it's like, so you didn't do anything independent. You don't have a source anymore. What you're saying is you're just ripping off other people who already covered the content.
And look, I don't care if people do that. I really don't, as long as you give credit,
Yeah,
But I mean,
prerogative.
like
Whatever.
I gave credit to Emily D. Baker because she did a review of the thing, right? I watched her video, right? But I could have done it in my own interpretation of it and analysis. I just whatever. She'd already did it. Why bother? I can just give my
Mine
brief
will be on
overview.
Sunday.
Well, I mean, what, you want to go over the entire lawsuit?
I'm going to read the Todd
you are.
Chrisley one.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. I mean,
I'm not inviting you.
yeah, I don't need to go over that. At least in
No,
depth.
you don't. You're busy.
So but going back to her audience, she's trying to tell people she's always the victim, right? And this is one thing that people notice all across YouTube, that she's always playing the victim. Woe is me. If she would stop making false statements about people, she wouldn't have to play the victim, and that's the whole thing. She has made false statement after false statement after false statement, and I think what happened here, she needed something to say to try to give her statement credence, and she created this. Oh, there's this person. I have a source that has given me that information. And so Todd Chrisley is like, oh, who's your source?
Timing's also going to matter, because if she says she had a source and she got a source after the fact and she's trying to retroactively insert that, then that would be problematic for her also.
Correct.
If that's the case.
Yeah.
So there's another that was actually part of my parody song, playing victim and aggressor at the same time. I am protecting Lindsay, but I am the victim of Todd.
Well, you remember the Cartman triangle, right?
Which
I
are
mean, you've got the protector,
Right.
the what is the
Right.
the rescuer, the victim kind of thing. It's and you could move from one to the other. I mean, no one size fits all. And so that drama
Both
triangle really
sometimes
explains
at the
the
same
situation
time.
quite well. Yeah, you can play all three at the same time if you're really professional at it. It's like some people are. Not to mention any names out there, because that might be considered to be planned. Well, my opinion, but I think there are some people out there that play all three simultaneously: the rescuer,
Sure.
the victim. But again, the allegations were made that I had been collecting Social Security, which I've never collected Social Security in my life. I can show. Well, I would prove that. I mean, that's their allegation. Let them prove that. It never happened. I've never collected disability in my life. Let them prove that. But as far as our audience, she has to convince them that other people are the bad people. That other people are, oh, they're so bad to me. Well, maybe if you didn't make false allegations against people, wouldn't have any reason to sue people.
There's something that I've noticed that I might end up writing my own Patreon blog about at some point, and it has to do with people misunderstanding the difference between being harassed and bullied or canceled versus backlash. Backlash is not the same thing.
Well, no, I mean, but I noticed she doesn't get a lot of backlash.
Oh, she gets a lot of. She's got a whole subreddit full of backlash.
Yeah. Oh, and that said, I gotta tell you, that subreddit is pure gold. Now, I tried starting a subreddit. I got that TRO, so I couldn't do much with it, and that's fine with that. I'm okay with that. The subreddit that exists is amazing. They really do document a lot of stuff, but I have nothing to do with that subreddit. Although the allegations were that I do, I don't. I have nothing to do with that subreddit at all.
Yep. She said that you ran the subreddit and the Facebook group, like currently, like in Kay Baxter's stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she also says I had dozens of sock accounts. I do not.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Do not. I have one Twitter that I use, one account that I use.
Steve can barely manage his stuff that he currently has, let alone having.
I could. You know what's funny is I could even get into the caffeine corner when I had an issue with. So I don't know if you saw somebody trying to access it, but I couldn't even. I had a problem getting in that, but I've never tweeted anything on that besides I think promotionals. But I don't do much on that account. Rose, $10. Thank you, Rose. She says Tim wanted to contribute. Heart. He says goodnight and pemmed us. Parentheses,
Good
exponents,
night.
multiplication, division,
Squigglies.
addition, and subtraction.
Have a good night, Tim.
Good night, Tim.
Peace.
PEMDAS, Boldmos, Bismos, was it? So PEDMOS, BEDMOS, BIDMOS, Boldmos. You know what those are? Anyway, anybody? I mean,
Yeah, the way you do equations.
yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But have
Yeah,
you
we
ever
learned
heard
this
it
in
called
like
Boldmos?
elementary school.
Brackets, orders, multiplication
Yes.
of already pants.
You made me do a stream with you where you taught me to do some weird graph math.
Oh, I did.
Like with these-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what's? And I keep telling people they don't believe me. I am not that great at math. I understand algebra and calculus to some degree, but number theory. Oh my God, I suck at number theory. And just you know how you have these people that just numbers are their life. Like look at Landon kind of thing.
Steve, you're getting very off track.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, okay, so let's
Yeah,
get back
you
on
are.
track here. So what do you guys have questions wise as far as what you'd like to know about the lawsuit or the counter lawsuit and our our reply to it, which has already been submitted.
When is it going to be filed in the court so I can read it on stream?
It
Couple
has
months,
up to
right?
9 months, I think, left to be filed in court. It will be filed in court before that time. Not going to let that, or because what happens is it gets dismissed with prejudice in Minnesota. So once you initiate these proceedings, you have to file, and I will be filing. I will be filing. I'm like I said, I have to take a loan out to get this in the court system. If she doesn't settle, then I will.
Don't forget to donate.
But I'm
I think
not
that she
letting it
might
expire because
settle
that's what she's hoping.
after.
Probably it expires. Oh no! If that's your legal strategy, it is a very bad one.
I think she's going. She might even settle. Like since the Todd Chrisley lawsuit is happening, she might realize. Oh, do you know what the past is in the past?
Well,
No, she can't. And we know because of the
will. She can't.
narcissistic
She cannot admit
behavior.
that
She can't.
she
She
said false
can't. But
statements.
one can hope, I guess.
Okay,
But
let's
then
all,
you
let's
didn't
all
answer
pray.
my question.
Hopes and prayers.
Answer my question.
What? Oh, okay. So
When?
So we have to do the depositions first. Okay. Actually, we have to do the discovery first. I cannot imagine it going past discovery, but you
Got
never
it.
know. And of course, she's going to make it go past discovery. But me personally, the
You're
discovery's gonna
saying like
show
if
that-
this, yeah, if this were gonna run like normal, if like if court ever went normal for Steve, as if that was ever the case, this would be settled out of court and it would be over within a couple of months. What I'm asking is like, when is it gonna be
right? So
filed? So if you're gonna go
it's a long
discovery
answer.
first.
So let me.
Yeah.
By the
We
way,
have raised over $1,000.
Oh, thank you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Rose says, I was in another chat and nearly lost my shit because they were talking about trickle-down economics. I'm an economist, so my head near exploded. Rose,
Oh no.
Keynesian supply-demand diagrams are the devil.
I want to have Rose on to have conversations about economics at some point.
I took macro and micro economics, and I got to tell you, that was one of the hardest courses in my entire life. And I took physics and calculus, and all. I took a lot
Stop
of.
distracting Steve with
I'm
math.
sorry, I like my
Yes.
live chat. But yeah, macroeconomics is voodoo. Okay, so in regards to your question, I can't imagine her lawyer saying, "Look, here's the discovery. We have nothing. They have exculpatory evidence. We'll get devastated if this goes to trial because the jury is going to annihilate in punitive damages. I mean, it could be we're only asking for 50. It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars in punitive damages.
If it goes, yes.
If it goes to a jury, he has an obligation to tell her this is not good. You need to settle. And money wise, all I'm asking is for what I put in, plus maybe a little bit more. That's it. I'm not even asking for a large sum of money in that regards. I was willing to say, look, you pay my legal cost, you pay what I'm out of pocket that I can show for special damages, and we'll call it a day. What I want you to do is admit that you lied. I didn't sue her to make a profit. I sued her because I want her to admit she lied about what her accusations were. Same thing that Todd Chrisley is sued her for. He wants her to admit that she didn't have a source, that she didn't get this from anybody, she created it, and she lied about it. That's his goal. I could bet money on that.
Okay.
Because he doesn't need the money, right? It makes
All right.
sense. He doesn't need the
So
money.
we understand the branches that this can go down, and we understand like why this or why that. When are you?
I'm still getting there. Okay, so after the discovery, there's depositions. where you're actually under oath, right?
Yes.
I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that because I want to see if she pulls a Kyle and she lies
Right.
under oath. 'Cause
Got it.
I don't need to lie under oath. I would never lie under oath. Okay, it just never happen.
Well, wait, what would you
so
lie
I
about?
expect depositions
There'd
to
be
be
no
in the next,
reason for you to lie.
I expect depositions. Oh, excuse me. I expect discovery to be in the next 2 months. I expect
Uh-huh.
depositions to probably be 2 months afterwards. So I would expect to be filed maybe in court 6 months to 7 months from now, if it goes that far. But it has up to 9 months to do it. So maybe about 6 7 months. Again, she is going to be in a world of kind of hurt if
She's just gonna be in a world of when's my next court date?
yeah, because it's
And
like
which court date am I going to? Which one is this?
well, let me okay, let's play a little role play here, right? Let's do D&D only
Oh,
real life.
All right.
LARPing.
You told me that there was no D&D allowed, and then you brought it up.
I strained my
I'm
rules.
offended.
That's not fair.
Oh,
I'm a scofflaw. I break
I
my own.
quit.
So
I'm going crazy.
imagine
I'm a
you being
crazy.
Katie Joy. We're gonna pick Cheshire.
No, I have to be. Oh, okay, fine. All right, hold
now-
on.
I'm gonna let you two role play here. So Jess, I want you to be my lawyer, asking her about, okay, where's the evidence for this? When did these events occur?
I have a question for you. What is your evidence, and when did it occur?
Well, Steve is a meanie poopy head.
There you go. That's it.
That's not going to work in the court of law. I need a better answer
Roll
for
for
that.
initiative. Roll for initiative.
He called me a dumb fuck.
Roll for initiative. Oh, that. By the way, that's what's funny. That's not even in any of that. Yeah, I was hoping it would be.
I was
I was like,
hoping it would be
please,
too.
Please, dear
I
God, I
Steve-
pray, put that in that.
I was
law.
told Steve that if this goes to a jury trial and she tries to say that being called a dumb fuck was defamation and that was gonna go, she was gonna have to present to the court that how in fact she was not a dumb fuck. I told Steve that he needed to fly me down there so that I could testify and bring a PowerPoint presentation explaining what exactly is a dumb fuck and what the qualifications
and for the record, Cheshire, because she had put out a tweet which was misinformation. This was wrong. It's not necessarily defamatory, but it is wrong. She had said that I nominated her for that. That is incorrect.
Yeah.
I
correct.
did not nominate her for that. Guess who nominated her for
Yes.
that?
That was me.
Yes. So
Yeah,
again,
I did
she
that.
never gets
That
her
was
facts
this guy.
right. She never gets her facts right.
Facts were right, so
So
that was me.
Proof Service says that depots and depositions come after filing of suit. The suit's already been filed pocket service. It is the same as a legal proceedings. It doesn't have to be filed in court. We are doing deposition, or sorry, we're doing discovery soon.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't
not.
have to be filed
It's
in
not.
court. You can do the discovery, you can do the depositions, and then you can go to what's called binding arbitration. I think it's ABA or something like that. You can do binding arbitration or mediation, or it can go to a jury trial. I prefer a jury trial if my lawyers say, look, let's just get it out of the way. With the mediation, you've got a strong case either way. You're going to win. It's cheaper this way. I'll go with the mediation. But if they say, look, let's go with the jury trial because you're gonna do okay, I'm gonna go with the jury trial. So it's whatever they recommended. Now, when I first brought this to my lawyer's attention, they're like, these are his words. I'm not going to be specific, but generally speaking, they were saying this is the kind of case you do want in front of a jury. So.
Right. Smitty in the chat said, I want to see Chesh all dressed up like a serious lawyer. I'll be dressed up like a serious lawyer. I'll be 2 feet tall. I'll be just like tapping along. And then I'll whip out a PowerPoint out of my back pocket like a Looney Tune. And then just be like, dumb fuck. How to explain do.
Well, getting it wrong that I was the one that nominated, because I wasn't the one that nominated her that. So getting that wrong is like.
I mean, it reminds me, it's very much reminds me of the time that I did my TLDR on her back. This is like 2019. I did my TLDR about what had been going on with her and what was sort of happening. And she said that I talked about her kid and everybody was like,
Oh. Well, and that was another thing. And I
she didn't watch it.
I put that in my blog too. So this has already been made public because I have talked about it. She has accused me of, quote, abusing her child. Quote, Steve has abused my child. That is her words. I have never met her child or been in the same state as that child. Now, she could have had any context she wanted on it, but that statement in of itself is defamatory because of the connotations it has on it. But that's how she uses words. Just like she would say, well, Steve and I were in the same room together. When the host left the room, Steve made these, words, just sexual, what did she say? Uncomfortable. That's what she said. Made me uncomfortable. It's like, wait a minute, we've never been in the same room together. And that's what she put in the TRO, that we were in the same room together. We have never been in the same room together. I've never been in the same state with her.
I remember reading that and then looking at how and kind of trying to. Yeah, but I remember reading that bit because she said that there were two people. It was me and the host, and then this other host, and then this other person. Like she doesn't. It's not laid. It's like what I'm explaining is that the way she lays out the scenario is incredibly unclear about who is even in the room. You kind of have to read it backwards to figure out like the framing and the situation she's trying to describe.
I think she said something along the lines of. When Steve and I were in a room together, and when the other host left the room, meaning Kyle.
Yeah, but when she started it, she explains that there were two people in the room, and then later on she talks about somebody had to leave. But there were still two people in the room. It's very like the way it's worded is just.
I have Bullinator's videos where he has said he has never left. I know exactly what streams they were, dates. I know all that.
Yeah.
None of that ever happened. I can actually, like I said, I can show evidence that everything she has bullshit. I mean, just straight up, she fabricated day one, and I know that. I knew that from day one. Matter of fact, when she first made those allegations, everybody was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And even I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And notice it was only a few days after Kyle stole the channel, and this is why I put it in my blog. Kyle stole the channel and kicked me and producer off the show July 11th. I think she made those allegations on the July 15th. And then he streamed on July 17th again, and people were like, what are you talking about?
Pretty sure it was June 11th, Steve, not July.
Was it June? Okay, June 11th. Yeah, June 11th. Yeah.
Yeah.
And June 15th, yes. And so she made it sound like in the TRO, and again, this is all public information. I put it out there before, that she made it sound like we were in the same room together to the judge. She also, in the TRO, which I've already put out there, said that I took photos of her and her son. I've never been in the same. How can I take photos of her? What she meant is, he took a video that someone sent to me, which they did not. This was her words. She had said that someone sent me a video, and then I put that video on Twitter. No, it was a video from her channel. Her channel. But she made it sound like, Steve, pictures of me and my. See how the wording is in order to get the TRO? Now, I couldn't.
She would have gotten the She didn't even have to. The TRO would have been automatic anyway because of the state she's in. It wouldn't have mattered what she put in there.
Again, I don't know why she decided to embellish like that, but she did, and it shows the wording. She's a writer supposedly. I mean, she calls herself a journalist, but she had to know how she was using those words to convince the judge, not thinking that I was going to fight back. And you see. Okay, they're in the same room together. No. So, anyways, okay, so let's fill some questions and kind of call it a day here. I do have a very long day at work tomorrow. Looking forward to it, but I won't be able to stream. Every day that I stream, I will be promoting my fundraiser here on out. But I hope to I have some people coming on. I got some guests coming on. I've been reaching out to guests and having discussions and. We're gonna have some fun talks coming up.
And I do my Fox D in the mornings usually.
Oh yes, before I even forget, promote your channel because you're getting some popularity.
Yeah, so I do like Fox D's. I'm gonna uncover topics, and so yes, I don't know, whatever I have experience, knowledge in, I will talk about. A lot of things might be controversial. I might. Like today's stream is very controversial. I had a lot of opinions that most people do not agree with. Surprisingly, in the chat, people were saying yes, but I'm like, that's the majority is usually negative. They don't agree.
Well, those are the kind of the best streams, aren't they? I mean, my channel has always been controversial as far as people agree or don't agree, but we have the discussions. That's what Non Sequitur Show was about. All opinions are sacred. It was to have discussions that are difficult to have and that people agreed and disagreed on. This is what I'm saying when people say the weirdest thing when people say, well, if you disagree with Steve, he gets upset. No, when you disagree with me, I want to have a conversation. I want to know why.
I had a conversation. I had like a 2-hour conversation ago with a friend over Discord like the other day. That was about we ended up talking about how Final Fantasy X's clothing makes no sense. Why does everybody have crotch holes? What happened in society that caused this?
I've never played that game.
Final Fantasy X?
No, I didn't play any Final Fantasies.
No.
All right, so let's fill some questions. Also in the comment section, if you guys got questions, I am having some issues with this channel as far as getting to my settings and streaming, setting up a stream as far as like scheduling. They say it's working as intended. It's clearly not. I've been talking to YouTube. I have requesting. I've sent them what they requested. I haven't heard back from them. I'm probably I'll wait a few more days and I'll file another one. I also, they even said on Twitter, well, we show that you have the ability to stream. That wasn't my problem. The inability was I could not schedule a stream, and I still can't on this main channel. On my other channels, yes, but not this one. And it's on their end because I can not schedule it on 2 computers, 2 different networks, 3 different browsers, nothing. Where's all the questions?
I might be going live tomorrow to read through Steve's blog about this. I'm not sure if that'll be tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow.
I'll do it too then.
On Insta, yeah, do it.
I was going to read the blog on here, but it's way over time, and yes, so please do that. Sure.
I will be live on
tomorrow, Foxy.
I'm going to be live on Instagram. I'm going to go and make some tomatoes into like a more tomatoey soup type thing that you guys can.
You had Instagram.
Yeah. What?
I knew you kind of did, but I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you post on Instagram.
Oh well, somebody's not paying attention. I have been a little bit more active on it recently, but I've moved Cheshcraft over to Instagram, so I'll be streaming making that.
I just use it for DM,
so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I literally just use it for DM.
I will also be. I'm not sure if there's going to be a DFF on Friday. It's possible. There's been some dumb things going on, so potentially. And on Sunday, I'll be going over the Todd Chrisley, Katie Joy lawsuit. I'm also looking at starting a little mini series that's just going to be like 100 days of streaming, but that won't be until, if I do start it, it won't be until next week. And basically, it's just going to be every day we're going to do a stream of art, and I'm going to do 100 Pokemon. And so first day will be Bulbasaur, and we're going to work our way through all the original 150. So it'll be 150 days, I guess.
Mom wants to know if you have enough tomatoes.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe I do.
All right, so none of you guys have questions? I'm actually really surprised. I mean, I know a lot of this is kind of repetitive, and but I'm sure if there's any new questions, a lot of this, you guys have all been around. Now, I do have
Basil.
I expect people that have not been around probably will be watching some of this stuff. I hope they'll watch this video later. I will do a follow-up video this week. Questions. And I'm going to, I don't know. Should I ask my lawyers if I can go over the lawsuit? I don't know why. I mean, Chrisley gave his lawsuit to Emily D. Baker.
It would be really nice if I could read it before the depositions. It would be nice if I could read that shit. But you know what? Whatever works is whatever works. I mean, the thing is like, what would you be hiding from Katie at that point? She's already got it. So like,
I don't know.
Why not?
That's what I'm saying too. It's like just by somebody like reading it. I don't know why. I mean, again, I don't know why he made it public and his Pit-Pocket service. I don't know why. I can't make mine public, but
I want the suit and I want the countersuit and I want to read them, please.
Well, there's a suit, countersuit, and then the reply to the countersuit.
Basically,
yes, nope.
I want these. I want these things, please. Thank you.
Yeah. As Red says, we're treading a lot of old ground, and might be like I said, there might be a lot of new people coming. I know this can be posted on the Reddit, and it doesn't have anywhere near.
Oh, I know my video from Sunday got on Reddit.
I didn't post it.
I didn't do it. I just hope somebody did.
I posted the thing, but I don't know if it went.
Stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know if it actually went through, and I didn't. I haven't looked. I've been doing things.
But did you guys notice this though?
There you
I clearly don't have the star power of like Todd Chrisley, nor do I have the financial resources of like Todd Chrisley. I think, although I feel for him so badly, I mean, as a father to have that kind of lawsuit, it just blows my mind that he's going through that, and my heart does go out for him on that. But I've read, now that I've read his lawsuit and I've read mine, I know mine is strong, and we're both suing for the quote 50,000. But that's not including any additional punitive, special, general, all that other kind of damage. It could be much, much, much. But that just gets your foot in the door, right? But he had like, she has like Ebony Baker had like 4,300 people watching. He had 52, even though my lawsuit is against the same person.
Well, yeah,
So,
but
I mean,
also,
I'd love to get it out there so people would know.
isn't Emily's channel also larger than yours?
Well, yes, of course.
Like,
Yes,
very
I'm
much,
not
right?
trying to.
Emily's channel's also got like a little bit
And
of
she's a
like
lawyer.
hype machine around it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got a little bit of hype machine around it.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
oh, that's
definitely
nothing.
does.
By the way,
Yeah, I don't have a hype machine, and I don't have.
no,
the
Steve is
law degree.
awful at hype.
I am the worst.
Sucks at hype.
Ebony Baker's up here. I'm down here when it comes to the hype machine.
Make everything mundane, and then you start talking about math.
I like math. Well, I mean, kind of like. I mean, it's not. I'm not as big fan of math as people think, but some things I.
And why don't you marry it?
Is she single? Harassment. Justin Franks, 1,055 raised already. Thank you, Justin Franks.
I'm the one who said that first. The same.
You did. Thank you too, Jesse. And I will go
Well,
through after this stream.
He was my friend first.
And by the way, I did put this at the bottom of my blog if you guys have read it and the
Matt
fundraiser.
Myers watching.
I
Hello.
because I know I'm gonna get legal fees from non sequitur show. And yes, by the way, I have put in some own money for over the period of time. Not a big deal. But that is paid off. Non sequitur show is paid off. It's done. No out of pocket, but that's fine. But if I get legal fees for Katie, which I do expect to get, because it's going to be obvious that it's just such a disparagement of evidence. I have said, if you have donated $100 or more to the GoFundMe and I get legal fees, I will give you back the $100. Just let me know, because I think that's fair. I don't want to double up on that. I want somebody to say, look, you got legal fees from me paid for, and then you've actually got them through the court. I can understand that. I'm not here to make a profit. I'm here to get justice for not just myself, but for all content creators that she has been less than honest about, that she has said things that are untruthful about, and that she has tried to silence, that she has said misinformation of. And there has been a lot of them. Now, I have been asked multiple times about the class action lawsuit that Todd is having. I don't no idea if that's going to happen or when. All I know is that I've been told from the lawyers that it is happening, that they have 6 people, he said, I believe, mentioned. 12 people. I think I know 6 of them. I don't know who the other 6 are. I have no idea. Please don't ask me when the other lawsuit's going to happen with the class action. Could venture a guess. If it even does. I don't know. Yeah, but I am on that
so
one, if it does happen.
The answer to my question was that it's going to be a long time before it ends up getting filed in court, but we're going to see if we can get out to the public earlier. You're welcome.
Yes.
Yep, I'm going to try. I will ask my
That was
lawyers.
the short answer.
If it was a short, you want a short stream? All right. So, anyways, please help. Like I said, share this video, share the fundraiser. I've tagged some names in there, people that I thought might be interested. I don't know any of the big name creators. The big name creators I have, that I do know, this isn't their shtick. I mean, like look at the Creeper Reading. He's got 300,000 subs, great material, and he did a wonderful video on Kyle called the 9 worst YouTubers. It was got 500,000 views or something like that. But this isn't his shtick.
Really well predicted Jimmy Snow.
Did he do? He didn't do a video on Jimmy, did he?
He brought up Jimmy when he was talking about
that's
Kyle.
right, yes.
And then like a month or two later, Jimmy exploded everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different ballgame with Jimmy Snow.
Spontaneous combustion is real.
But if you could have people like maybe subscribe to this channel so they'll get updates, because I will be talking about this more now that I have permission. So again, I know the line. I went through the whole non sequitur showcase, and not once did my lawyer say, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that." Not once. He was well aware of what I was saying on air. look, my case is so strong. There's really nothing that I think I could say that it could stop. I mean, it's black and white.
Absolutely.
Here's what was said. Here's the fact it's impossible to have happened. There you go. Defamation per se.
All right, let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here, guys. Go
Yeah.
watch Cheshire's playlist. Go watch Jesse's channel. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for this funding. I know I'm asking for a large amount of money. Get that. I do understand. It is going for, I think, a good cause, because I am representing all the YouTubers out there that she has done this to. I think. I mean, but again, I don't have the star power Todd has, but I have the evidence, and I think that means something. So with you guys, thank you guys very much. I will see you guys probably in 2 or 3 days. Okay? And good night.
Bye.